I'm super excited to talk to you today about building a portfolio for creative services. This is a video that you guys have been asking for a lot, so today we're going to look at some portfolio examples, talk about what works and what doesn't in trying to sell yourself and your services on your website. And then at the end, I'm actually going to go through and show you an example of how you can build a really effective portfolio piece really quickly. So let's jump into it, but first, let's roll the intro. This is about the combination of creativity and business. This isn't an aesthetic decision, this is a business decision. Alright, today we have a lot to unpack because we're going to do an entire video all about how to make you more money through your online portfolio. So I want to walk through some things that we can do in our portfolios to help us better sell ourselves as creatives. Now, I don't care if you are a videographer, graphic designer, photographer, whatever kind of creative you are, if you have a portfolio and you're trying to sell yourself, whether that's to an agency for agency work or if you're going direct to the business, to the client, this is a video to help you build an effective portfolio. Now, in the case of what we're going to look at today, we are going to focus on design because that's where my background is, but the principles apply universally to creative work. Now, how can I claim that this video is for all of you creatives out there? Certainly, a logo design portfolio is very different than a videography portfolio, right? And it is. But what I'm going to talk about today, and what we're going to see in these portfolios that we look at in just a few minutes, is that we're not looking at the work itself. If we were just looking at the work, we were going to say, how is this work stacking up? Then it wouldn't really be a beneficial video to any of you because the designer who's at the top tier is going to have better work, more impressive work, better clients than the designer who's entry level, just getting started, maybe only designed a couple of things. So it doesn't really make sense to look at a portfolio review or to talk about how to build a portfolio if we're just looking at the actual work that's being done. The focus of this video is going to be on helping you develop a portfolio that you can sell, where you can sell your services no matter what level you are at talent-wise. The thing I'm trying to get across here is that you don't have to be the most talented graphic designer to build a really nice graphic design portfolio. There's definitely some things that you can do no matter what your level is to kind of bring your portfolio up to that next tier. With all of that said, let's look at what these things are that we can do as creatives to better present ourselves online. So every creative portfolio website has basically the same thing. You've got a work page where you show your work, you've got an about page, and you've got a contact page. Now, I'm really talking about these personal portfolio websites. I'm not really talking about your social media, your Instagram or your Behance, Dribbble, that sort of a thing. Those are important and some of these principles do apply, but I really want to take a look at the portfolio websites. So when it comes to these three areas of your website, your about, your contact, and then your work, I want to really focus on how we present our work because your about page, we all know how to do that. We write about ourselves, we post a picture of ourselves so that people know who we are. And the contact page, that's really easy. You put your social links, you put a contact form, get in touch to do work together. When I was reviewing creative portfolios, which I do a lot of, both as a creative professional and also as a business owner who hires a lot of other outside creatives, those two areas, your about and your contact form, they basically always look the same or they have the same type of information. You definitely want to customize those areas to who you are. If you're kind of a goofy guy, maybe you want your about page and your contact page to be kind of goofy. I like it when they have a little bit of personality, but that's for you to decide what your personality is and then how you can implement that in your about page and your contact page. The focus of this video is going to be on the work aspect. How do we present our work? A lot of creative professionals from the very top tiers of talent, the best of the best, all the way down to those who are just starting out, they all make the same mistake. I see it over and over again. And that is they just show their work and they don't do any explaining about the solution that they're providing. We're going to take a look at this in just a second, but I want you to first understand something about business. You need to understand that as a business owner, I am only going to hire a creative if they can solve a problem that I have. I need to know that I have a problem and that this person is capable and qualified to think of a solution to that problem and implement it. Let's look at two different examples of design portfolios, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Now, this first design portfolio we're going to look at here is a really talented graphic designer. I want to show you this Nuva rebrand project. Now, in this project, she's doing what a lot of graphic designers do. They start off the project by telling you a little bit about who this design is for. This is a project that redefines the idea behind insurance companies through the lens of transparency and efficiency. Okay, sounds interesting. Nuva aims to create a better online insurance buying experience for customers while simplifying content and making it more accessible for users. Okay, that sounds like something that's interesting to me. Maybe I'm in the market for somebody to do design for an insurance company. So she told us a little bit about what this project is and who it's for. So then if we keep scrolling, we see some mock-ups here. Here's the website mock-up. Here she's got the logo mock-up. She's showing how she showed that she designed this logo, and this is kind of the identity system. Now, if you'll notice, we scroll through this project on her website. We see a lot of examples of how this identity system works, how this is built design-wise. And the design looks really, really good. This is a really good design. So I would say this is on a top tier, a high level of design. It's not entry-level stuff. This is really good quality. But here's the problem. All I'm seeing is images of the design. She told me this is for an insurance company, but in this portfolio piece, she's not telling me anything about why she made the decisions that she made. Why does the design look this way? Why did she choose to use this typography? Why did she choose to make the logo this style? What is it about this that works for this insurance company? Why does it matter? See, if you just tell me, hey, I did this design for this company, this is what the company is trying to do, I'm like, okay, cool, but why? Why does that solve a problem? Why is your design better than any other design that anyone else created? It can't be just about the visuals. It can't be just about the aesthetic. There has to be a reason, because at its source, creativity is about finding a solution. So you have to have solved a problem. The brand wanted to be this thing, so we created this design to reflect that. Now here's a portfolio piece for Young Crusoe. This is a rebranding project. So very similar to the project we just looked at, but I want you to notice something very different about the way that this portfolio piece is presented. If we look through this, we find he's got the same blurb here at the top. Together with talented folks at blah, 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 I spearheaded this rebrand of this partnership, right? It's a food service design firm and it's based in Denver. Okay, so we know a little bit about the project that he's working on. We know a little bit about the company, and this is something that almost every design portfolio has. They always have a little blurb about who they're working for. And that's good because it gives me some context so that I know kind of what I'm looking at when I'm looking through the design. Over here on the side, he's kind of got some categories and some tools that he used. Not necessary, but sometimes nice to know that this designer has skill sets in these areas. But as we scroll down the page, this is where things get really interesting. Here he shows us the logo, you know, just the same as the other portfolio piece did. And he shows us his logo construction. So he says, hey, look, this is how I built the logo. That's something that the other portfolio piece didn't have, but this one has it. And I think that's a really nice touch if you can do it. But here's where things get really different. Look at all of this type that he has in this chunk of his portfolio presentation. That other portfolio we looked at, while also being very stylistic, very well done work, it was missing this piece. This is the most important piece of your creative portfolio: the challenge and the solution. Look at what he writes here. He says that they have a long-standing reputation in the food service design and consulting industry. And when it was time for William to move on, he left the company in the hands of his younger brother Michael and partner Steve Young. Steve and Michael wanted to bring the brand into the 21st century. So they hired us to do a full rebrand of their business and rebuild their website. The main challenge we faced was this: how do we give the brand a facelift without losing the recognition that they have garnered over the years? Brilliant. This is a problem. Here we have two business owners that want to make a difference. They want to make an impact. They want to modernize and shift the focus of the brand. But they don't know how to do that because they're not designers. They don't know how to create that brand personality without losing all of the brand equity that they've already established. So what does he do? Then he provides exactly what he did to solve this problem. He says, to maintain the legacy, we decided to rename the company Young Crusoe. And not only does this pull from the names of the two new partners, so now we've renamed it, but it also doubles the meaning since Michael is the younger Crusoe carrying on his brother's legacy. We pulled the reference from high-end companies, and he gives some lists of some people that he pulled references from, so you know where he got inspiration from, and a few luxury hotels to create unique visual identities based on the attributes listed below. So now he's going to show us, look at the before and the after. Look at how I solved this business problem using my skill set of design. Here's some mock-ups to show you what this brand looks like in action, and also some brand attributes, some things that we took into consideration when we built this brand. Here are the things that I want you to feel about this brand. And this is what we decided on, and then this is how I constructed a brand that accomplished this mission. From that point, it really just becomes a portfolio piece. It's the exact same as the other portfolio we looked at. It just has some nice mock-ups. It's got some things where we can see some examples of work, and that's about it. You know, it's not fancy by any means. It's nothing that you couldn't achieve, but it's so much more powerful than the first portfolio piece that I showed you. Think about these two side by side. The first example was actually probably a more impressive design, if you want to say, you know, how did it look? I think that was probably a little bit more stylish, a little more trendy, and it also had a nicer website to go along with it. So it was kind of a nicer piece, start to finish, more mock-ups, more fleshed out concept, but I would hire the second guy any day because it showed me in his portfolio, he showed me that he knows how to think. He knows how to problem solve. He knows how to create solutions to business problems. As a business owner, that's what I'm looking for. I want somebody that I can say, hey, look, this is the issue I'm having. And they can say, hey, here's how we can solve that. If you're just a really talented designer, a really talented photographer, a really talented creative professional, and you're not including a problem and solution, you're just kind of putting work out there, you just got kind of an image gallery going, you're not landing jobs because people are going, yeah, it looks nice, I guess, but I don't know how it applies to me. That's the deal. They don't understand that you can solve their problem. So I want to sum this up a little bit and show you how it applies. See, if you're a creative professional, right now, not right now, as soon as this video is done, I want you to go check your portfolio and see if you showcase the problem and solutions that you're providing for your clients. I want you to do that in your portfolio online. Make sure that's there. But I want to show you a little bit about how you could just do this really simply. Like, I'm just going to make this the most simple portfolio work page ever, and we're just going to do it really fast. I want to show you how easy it is to create a portfolio piece like this. So I'm going to use a little spec project that I just did for fun, right? Like, this is just a project in my spare time because I'm a space nerd. I did a NASA rebrand. And I want to show you this because if you're a new designer and you're doing spec projects, you're trying to build a spec portfolio because you don't have a lot of real clients, you can still do this exact same thing. Don't just go out there and say, well, I'm going to rebrand the Gatorade logo because I don't like the way it looks. That doesn't do anybody any good. Nobody cares. But if you can say, hey, as a designer, here's a problem I think Gatorade is facing, and here's how my design is going to be a solution to that problem, then you can showcase something of value that people will actually find really interesting. So as kind of a space guru, space nerd, I've always loved NASA, and I've loved all the NASA stuff and news and that sort of thing. I read a lot of that, but I've never been 100% keen on the NASA worm logo, that red squiggly NASA logo. It's iconic, and it's kind of retro feeling, but I just don't feel like as a logo mark, it's a strong word mark to carry NASA, many years into the future. So just for fun, I kind of did this what if sort of a scenario, and I developed my own version of the NASA worm logo. So we're going to throw in, a reference image here. And then right at the top of the page, we're going to go ahead and put the problem that we're trying to solve. And in this case, I just wrote out a little blurb about what I thought the problem was. Now this is a spec project, so it's kind of fake, and I don't know if this is actually a problem, but so I kind of said that basically the NASA worm logo has kind of made a resurgence in popularity, but that it just kind of feels a little outdated, and that NASA hired me, that'd be awesome, right, to reinvent this worm logo to try to make it a little bit more trendy. So I kind of put some reference points in here so that you could see what the original logo looked like, and then I went ahead and added the solution. And the solution in this case was a reworked version of this logo while keeping the same typefaces, while keeping the original design style of minimalism and the same layout style, and then modifying the colors just a little bit to be a brighter red, which I felt was a little bit more firm, and then a gray instead of a gold, which I just wasn't a big fan of the gold. So that's how I reinvented this NASA worm logo to create a solution to what I saw as a problem. From there, I simply just added in some mock-ups and showcased how my design would look, and that was it. That's all I did on my portfolio piece, because now I've got something I can show people and that actually creates value. Now, instead of just showing a bunch of mock-ups that nobody cares about, I can say, hey, look, here's a problem that I'm trying to solve, and here's how I solved it, and then here's some high-quality images showing my solution in action, or what could be my solution in action. Here's just a final look at what that web page could look like, and that could be it. That could be your project template that you just use for all of your different projects. And as a side note, I do want to make a mention that you should always be looking for high quality mock-up images, ones that look highly realistic. You can find them on lots of different sites out there, and it's usually worth paying a few dollars to get really nice mock-ups rather than trying to use something for free that just isn't going to look as professional. And that's it. That's what you need to know to build a really effective portfolio for creative work, because if you do that, 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to land clients, you'll be able to land jobs, because they'll see the value in what you're providing. So go ahead and make those modifications to your portfolio. Comment down below if you learned something and enjoyed this video. And in the meantime, I'll see you all in the next video.